Hello, everybody. Welcome today again on Wednesday on the Wake TV Network show. I'm Ofke Tekens from the Netherlands. I'm a Jungian therapist and a transformational teacher, transformational coach. I make a few games about archetypes. One of them is this box, Archetypes and Talents. And today we're here for another game we made together with Annelies van Rijkenvorstel. She's next to me. And this is about this money archetypes. We talk about money today with Rob Goddard. He's our guest. And we look at Rob, welcome in our show. And we talk about this money blocks also, because people like to earn money, but there are a lot of blocks for money. Some people said money is dirty. I don't want money. And some people like a lot of money. So it's interesting to have the discussion today with Rob Goddard from the UK. And next to me is Annelies van Rijkenvorstel. Will you introduce yourself before we go to Rob?
Yes, I'm Annelies van Rijkenvorstel, also from the Netherlands, and I help female entrepreneurs to break through their money blocks by using the money archetypes. So they give you all kind of new information how to proceed in business.
Interesting. So, listeners, watchers, today our guest is Rob Goddard. He is from the UK, and may I welcome you here, Rob, in our show. And please tell me something about your life, how you're doing, what you're doing. Can you introduce yourself, please?
Absolutely. What a great opening question.
Yeah. We have 35 minutes, so.
Look, the first half of my working life, I was a bank manager in the UK. Mm-hmm. And the second half of my life has been taken up with working with, in the SME, the small to medium-sized enterprise, privately owned businesses. So I've got two halves to my working life. I have 6 children. I own 4 businesses, and I work in another half a dozen other companies in different countries as a non-exec director, giving advice, maybe sometimes investing.
Okay.
So you could probably tell by the list I've just given you what my priority is, which is the children.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
So you're a father.
Father, yes.
A father, yeah. I've got 2 sets of twins. I've got two boys and 4 girls, ranging from 26 down to 7.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Where do you live at this moment, Rob?
I'm based in the UK, but we have a home elsewhere in Europe, and I spend quite a bit of time in Dubai because I have a business out there as well. Mm-hmm. So I used to spend a lot of time on airplanes up until the last month.
And how is that now with the corona?
Do you know what? It's mixed. I've worked from home for a long time. So I'm used to doing that. It's nice actually being with the family. We do exercising together as well, online exercises, and the garden has never looked so wonderful. I've built a koi pond in our backyard. What I do miss is not getting on a plane and going on holiday. We've missed 3 holidays so far this year because of Corona. So it will be wonderful to be able to get some sense of leaving the country and resuming some degree of normal life. But I've got to confess my sin to you right up front that up until the last few years, I have been lousy with money. I had a bad attitude, a bad mindset. In the good book, it says the love of money is the root of all evil. And I have to say, for my teens and 20s and 30s,
you talk about this devil and this money.
Yeah. Do you know what? Your relationship with money can define you as a person.
Oh, sure.
And it was bad for decades because I put my career and money and ambition and success ahead of everything else, including, sadly, I have to admit, my family.
A lot of people do, don't you think so?
Yeah, I became a workaholic, and in later years an alcoholic dealing with depression, and it can ruin you. Your relationship with money needs to be a healthy one, because actually money is a tool.
And when do you have a healthy relationship with money? Because do you want to tell us about your journey? Because everybody is on a journey, and listeners would address that too and will understand that.
Okay. So in 2008, so I am going back 12 years, my world collapsed. I was in the top 1% of earners in the United Kingdom. I was on very good income. But my bad relationship with money stemmed that it doesn't matter actually how much you earn, it's what you spend that matters. And
That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah.
I was spending more than I was earning. I'd built up debts of in pounds sterling, about £300,000. Well, it's almost euros now, of course. Eye-watering debts, and that's all right if you've still got a high income job. But my job, I lost my job in back end of 2008. My marriage was on the rocks, and I was losing connection with my first two children. So my world collapsed. It was the perfect storm. And I went into what became a 5-year battle with depression. And in 2010, I decided to run away from the UK, and I ran away to Dubai to start afresh. But of course, the problem is when you get on a plane, your problems go with you, don't they?
Yeah. Where you go, you will take your problems. But I was interested in this stuff. You were spending more money than you earn, and it was about your investments you made, or what? No,
just consuming. I can remember being on a cruise around the Caribbean with my first wife and children, and I got into, there was art lessons on board the ship, which I found interesting, and of course it led up to an art auction at the end of the week's cruise, and I bought 10 pictures. And I really wasn't bothered how much I was spending. I just liked the thrill of winning in the auction.
So excitement,
Of course, the realization comes through the night before you disembark. Under your cabin door, they put your final bill, don't they? It was a big number. It was bigger than the holiday for 4 on the cruise ship.
Wow.
So, I mean, that was what my life was like, and not looking at the price of things. And the trouble is...
Did you enjoy, may I interrupt you, did you enjoy your life? Yes, you did.
I enjoyed it superficially, but I was always half aware of the debts building up, but I ignored it. And because when you've got a lot of money, people are willing, like particularly banks, are willing to lend you more.
Oh, yeah.
Banks don't lend money to people who haven't got any.
No.
They only lend to people who are wealthy, usually, typically. So, and of course, if you, the ability to borrow more just became a habit, a bad habit. But that all collapsed in November 2008 when I lost my job.
What happened? Was that because you're not doing well, or what happened? Was it the organization, a strange changement in organization, or what?
No, it was more of a, it was more of a personal issue that was allied in the business, and I parted company with my employer. It wasn't it was my responsibility, but it wasn't, wasn't what I chose to do. And I found myself in self-employment. So I didn't choose working for myself as a one-man band. No one wanted me. I was 45. I was applying for jobs and not getting anywhere. 200 jobs a week I was applying for on average.
Wow.
And not even getting interviews because I was over-experienced, which means too expensive.
Yeah.
And I was panicking because I had bills to pay every month and I wasn't even getting job interviews. So I thought, well, I'll become self-employed.
Yeah. And then what happened? What happened?
Well, my old employer became my first client.
Yeah.
And that really helped. I'm grateful for that. That really helped me start off in business, and then I got some other clients. So I was I'd stabilized until the point that my largest client then stopped using my services, and that put me into another bout of depression. And that's when I ran away to Dubai.
That was the end for you. Then you get...
I'd kind of bobbed along the bottom for a couple of years, earning a bit of money as self-employed. but it wasn't growing. And then my major client, which was 70% of my overall revenue. So there's a learning. If you've got your own business, don't be susceptible to just one customer.
No, yeah, that's always what I say. When you have a stove, you need a few pans. What gives you
on stove?
Yeah. So I couldn't see any way out, so I ran away. I did a geographic, as the Americans would say.
What did you do? What happened?
What did it mean? What does it mean? A geographic?
Doing a geographic. So you change country, change your location to try and change your life.
Yeah.
So I took on a self-employed job. So there was no salary in Dubai, but doing something I'd done in my banking days, which was financial services, financial advice.
Yes.
Pensions, life insurance, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But it was commission only. So there was no one with a salary. They just gave me an office and said, go find your data or go find your customers.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Oh, here's some business cards.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I spent a year in Dubai, and I learned a lot of things. I learned how to create business from nothing, with no data.
I'm really proud of you that you tell me that, because that will be difficult for you with your family. Where was your family? Still in UK?
Still at home, yeah. And I was still finding. I don't know how it happened. Sometimes this happens in life, isn't it? I was still able to support my children at the time, financially. Still able to find that because they were a priority in my life.
Yeah.
So yeah, I spent a year learning how to create business from nothing. No marketing budget, no data, and no lead generation from an external source. Just me, business cards, and a smile in the Dubai sun.
So there was an internal power.
Wow.
Somewhere.
Yeah, I guess I'm quite resilient.
Yeah, I think so.
I go over through the book.
And the book of Andrea, yeah.
And with Andrea about resilience.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't like losing.
No, that's also. So it's the ego also in between. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that year was a turning point. I had a friend. You've met him. I know, Ofke, you may have met him, Annalise. Alex Petty.
Yeah.
After my thwarted suicide attempt in Dubai, I contacted my friend Alex, and he came over to Dubai, and we sat down and spent a few days together. He's a business and a life coach, and he came over as a friend, but he was asking some searching questions, and he was instrumental in me turning my life around in Dubai. And one of the things I decided to do was to face my fears back in the UK, face my debts, face my problems, and work it through. It's the hero's journey.
Yeah, the hero's journey, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's really an impressive story. You told me twice in a meeting in Spain once and once in France, and twice my tears were running.
Oh.
It was really a heavy story, but it's so good to tell and stay telling it everywhere you are in the world. You wrote a book about it. What's the name of the book you wrote? This little one. You have it there?
What this one you mean?
Yes, the second. I have another one. Suicide to Success.
Yes.
SS. Can you tell me something about this book, please?
Yeah, it's a little book. It's available on Amazon, and I do give it out at events to people.
Yeah.
It took me 2 years. I wrote it years ago off the back of, I kept a death diary when I went through my depression. I was logging how I was feeling. My therapist was saying it's good to get your thoughts onto paper to clear them from your head. So that became, I called it my death diary, but I expressed all my feelings, what I was going through at the time. I journalized it. A few years later, as I came out of depression and working through my issues, I then I used that as the basis of this little book. And the purpose of the book is to turn something bad into something good, which is to just share my story and how I battled depression and triumphed over adversity, what I did, in the hope that someone, at least one person on this planet, will read it, find it helpful, and turn away from taking their own life.
Yeah. So now, I just want a little interruption. That's the Lucky. He's in the castle too, but you crack your own code. That's what you did. You crack your code. And you wrote it in your book, your little small book.
I did.
It's
right.
a hell of a story. I think everybody should read your book. That's what I think.
Well, thank you for that enlightenment.
We have the two, the enlightener. Where is she?
Enlightenment, yes, the enlightener.
Where is she? Here she is. I have it. So these cards will help you to bring some light in the darkness. And you make that transformation.
Yes.
From the darkness to the lightness. Yes.
Yeah, and I guess it's part of it is taking yourself out of yourself and thinking about the others around you, that you know, whether you know them or not. And it was a therapy for me as well. I've given probably 2,500 copies of that book away at events over the last few years. Yeah. But importantly, it took me 2 years to get it from my C drive and publish it on Amazon because I was scared.
What were you scared of?
I was scared of my reputation in the business world, that somehow I would be viewed by other people in business as weak, vulnerable. Yeah.
We're all human beings, so this can
happen. Yeah, there's still a taboo on talking about this kind of issues, and maybe especially also in this, what you say, this business world.
Rob, I have another question for you, because you told me it's really, I was very impressed. I heard your story twice in Spain and in the south of France about your story of Dubai. And I think it's very good to hear for the watchers and the listeners about your life story. And you tell me that it took you a long time to tell the story, to write the story. Can you tell me how was this processing about this story and writing your book to bring it to Amazon later on?
Yeah.
Later on.
Well, look, I never thought I'd be an author, partly because I'm dyslexic.
Yeah, me too. I know.
Yeah, I've always struggled with and I don't really read many books. So I never considered myself an author. And when I was struggling with 4 or 5 years worth of depression in my life, and having suicidal thoughts, a therapist said to me, why don't you journalize what you're thinking and feeling right now? Write it down, get it out of your head, put it on paper. So I did, and I affectionately referred to it, titled it as my death diary, because I was contemplating taking my own life. And so my death diary actually became something else as the years went on, and I started to come out of the depression that I was in, and it's become a book.
Look who's there. There it is. Suicide to Success.
That's me in the desert in Dubai, the place I nearly ended my life. And do you know what?
Yeah.
Hopefully the viewers can see there's a little green bush, isn't there, in that arid, dry desert. What you can't see on the back is there's an oasis on the other side of the sand dune. And isn't that like it in life? I'm happy to donate some free copies of that if people get in touch with you on your channel.
That's a great offer. Thank you very much, Rob. It's really a gentle offer.
I'm the best-selling author and giving it away. I've given away thousands of copies, but I didn't initially, and I think this is where your question is centering around, Ofkia, is it took me 3 years. I wrote the manuscript for this book and left it on my C drive of my laptop for 3 years, nearly 3 years. And the reason for that is, and I think this is particularly male, but not exclusively male thinking, I was worried about what people in the business community would think of me.
But I can understand that. I can understand that you didn't dare to share this, because it is a story, isn't it?
Yeah, and I guess it's the generation I was born in. I'm a baby boomer, and when I was brought up, men were men, and of course that's a falsehood, really, because and as a man you can't show weakness or vulnerability.
You may not cry.
You may not cry because you're the man, and that was the culture and the generation I was brought up in. but I've learned actually there's real strength in making yourself vulnerable.
Oh, yeah,
open
and visible and open. And
yeah.
you're the new generation, I think.
Yeah. And also I've occupied nearly 40 years in financial services with one company or another. It's always been financial services. And that is a very male dominated, egocentric industry to some degrees. It's very fueled by aggression and ruthlessness. And that's the industry I've occupied for nearly 4 decades. So it was a real step of faith for me, and in fact, it was triggered by a friend of mine. It wasn't mine. It wasn't my inspiration or enlightenment. It was my friend who I just mentioned in passing. I had this book that had been on my laptop for years about my personal journey, and she said to me,
"Yeah, what did she do?"
She said, "You're crazy." She said, "If get over yourself, Rob," because she knew me well. Get over yourself, and once you've done that. Your book, if you publish that on Amazon, if it's read by just one person, and it turns them away from taking their own life because they see a ray of hope and some light at the end of the tunnel, then it will have all been worth it, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So she said, "Get over yourself."
Okay.
Publish it. So I did.
Yeah.
And it's in its 2nd edition now because I asked a professional writer to make some cosmetic changes to it, because the 1st edition was very factual. It was very linear. I did this, that happened, la 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 la. And the professional writer said, "That's fine, but people love a story."
Yeah.
You know, the hero's journey, for example. People love a story. They remember the story, and it sinks into a deeper level if it's formulated in a story, rather than just a factual account. And so the 2nd edition has been out last year, and it's become a bestseller on Amazon, which is fantastic.
Wow!
During Mental Health Week, globally last year, or one of the Mental Health Weeks. So, so that little book, because it is only thin.
Yeah, but
but it's got 12 years history, and it's not. It documents the personal journey, but also the learnings that I've had on the way. So if it can help someone who's struggling right now, listening to this, with anxiety, stress, depression, maybe even thinking about taking their own lives.
It will rescue lives, Rob. It will rescue fathers.
It will. And you're right. And I have a particular interest in male suicide. I don't know whether the viewers know that 800,000 people a year take their own lives on this planet.
More than men than women. Much.
And a guy is 3 times more likely to take their own life than a woman.
Wow.
So there's something in the male mindset, I think. I don't understand that. I'm not qualified.
I am. But
right.
Yes, but it is difficult because you have learned it. It's a mindset you learned from your childhood.
Yeah, and I having gone through 5 years of depression and come out the other side and triumphed over adversity, one thing I have learned is that suicide doesn't kill. It's isolation that kills. And particularly with men, when we're struggling and having problems and issues, and it keeps us awake at night and occupies our thinking 24/7, what we don't tend to do is share with someone close and trusted. We isolate ourselves, we keep it to ourselves, and maybe it's something part of the macho thing again, I don't know, that we don't want to open up to someone that we trust.
So a good friend for a man is very important.
Essential. Yeah, and
essential.
Yeah, absolutely. And as I've said before, I had a friend called Alex, and I think everyone needs an Alex in their world. And so I'm trying to find the right word. My suggestion to people, strong suggestions, is they find an Alex in their life if they're struggling, and if they're not struggling, and actually life's quite good, despite everything.
Alex too.
They could be an Alex to someone else as well.
Nice. That is also nice.
I've found that people don't tend to want to raise the topic. So if you're listening to a friend or a member of the family and you can tell they're not right, people quite often then don't want to ask the next question, which is, are you really all right?
Yeah. And then they say, oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yes, sure. But Rob and Annelies, do you hear also the teacher now in Rob? Because you're sharing so much tips and experience, what people can learn from you, isn't it? That's also what is your opinion with this book.
And also an advocate, like, maybe also to change this masculine culture, like it is okay to talk about this kind of feelings.
Yeah, for sure.
It was interesting you should say that, because I did a recording a couple of days ago with a good friend of ours, Dr. Andrea Pennington.
Oh, great. Yeah.
And we did an interview. So she interviewed me, and I talked about my business journey and the personal journey that was underneath it.
Yeah, great.
And that's going to be broadcast later this month. But someone has already, and we put the event on our website. Someone this morning found the event listed, really liked the topic, and contacted me this morning and said, I get 750 business owners every month on a webinar. Would you like to come and speak with them?
See?
How amazing is that?
Yes.
It's amazing. And it's not by purpose. It's the
synchronicity.
Yeah.
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 And tell this person that we want to join with the archetypes.
There you go.
There we go. And then we go to this inner journey.
I think so. And I think it's this bridging of the gap between what some people see as the spiritual world and the business world, and never the twain shall meet. And I found, and actually there's a really nice midway space.
Oh, yeah.
That we should really occupy.
Yes.
Between the commercial and the spiritual, whatever that means to someone.
But I really see people changing. I'm a young therapist, but also transformational teacher, because when you go to this deeper layer, you transform, you get messages. We did before, Rob, to go deep inside and meet your other personalities. We all have them. And when you're in business, just work and the money, and you know the money, you have the money, and you knew that it's not gives you happiness for sure, not at all.
Look, you're right, Ofkia. I know a lot of very wealthy, rich people are very unhappy.
Yes. Yes.
Money's a short-term motivator. Once you've got it, it actually doesn't fulfill you at all. I mean, clearly. In fact, if you have a lot of money, you have more choices because you have more responsibility. What to do with that money?
That's for sure. So I think for this businessman, it can be very interesting to go to a deeper level and say, it's not about the money.
Well, I've been approached by someone who wants to operate a retreat in Albania, because we've got a place out there, and my partner is Albanian.
I know.
And I've got a travel business.
Yeah. You told us.
Yes. So my first customer in the travel business during COVID, business, wants to operate a retreat in the mountains of Albania for burnt out businessmen.
Yeah.
Just like me, or like I was. Could I arrange that sort of a 4-day, 3-night? And it's this blend between the two parts of life, maybe of existence, which it's about the harmonization of both. And there's a lot of business people that are lacking focus, a sense of purpose and significance in life, and feel exhausted.
They don't nourish themselves.
There you go. That's exactly it.
This is
and can you also see then that they maybe chase the wrong thing? That because exhaustion comes from something. What makes it exhaustion? Yeah,
well, it's very typically it's the story I went through for myself.
Yeah,
which is money, power, success.
Results. Yeah.
I mean, they're intoxicating for some, and I was in that group.
Yeah.
And what you do is you work 24/7 for decades, perhaps, and in the pursuit of something. And it is easy to keep doing that and actually not nourish yourself, not recharge yourself.
Yeah. And
not taking the rest. So you need,
Then you need what happens. Yeah. Then you see it.
Well, people have breakdowns, don't they?
Yeah, sure.
Either mentally or physically. or both.
Or both, yes.
So I have a real passion going forward to help those, particularly men business owners, but business owners generally, to help them avoid business burnout and in their lives and achieve their magic number. You know, they're in business for a reason, and that's to build a capital value that they're going to then sell at some time and finish one chapter and start a new one.
It's not
I want to help
valuing
people.
yourself. You don't value yourself with all that money.
You also become very selfish because it's all about the building of wealth rather than actually using money as a tool to help other people. And the other people could be your immediate family, could be friends, could be strangers who've got a business. For me, I invest in businesses sometimes.
I think it's interesting that you tell about this burnout, business burnout, and get the private depression.
Yes.
That's how it goes. Sorry.
Yeah, because most suicides happen, certainly in the UK. I don't know globally, and I don't know with Holland or other countries, but in the UK, most suicides are before 40. Sorry, the magic number is 45 years of age.
Yeah.
So there's something that happens midlife.
Yeah, but because then you feel, I'm 60 now, you can feel it will not happen anymore because of your age, because you're too old or something.
Yeah, precisely.
But that's not true. That's not true. When you look to Alex.
And I once wrote in a book that you will not, most likely you will not be successful before 40.
Oh, interesting.
It's also interesting. Yeah.
I agree with you, because don't believe the social media, there's stuff going on YouTube and social media at the moment that you can become a millionaire in 3 months. Yeah. If only you bought this person's program, masterclass, book.
Yeah, and there you have it all.
I have to say, it took me a decade.
It took you a decade.
Not 3 months.
But I think I love the teacher in you. What I hear what you're saying and telling about this own experience, because then you are a good teacher. You can pray and preach everything, but when you haven't gone through it yourself, it has no essence.
Yeah.
So
I'm living the message.
Yes.
So because Rob, in the beginning you spoke about being a father of 6 kids. So maybe you're also now kind of father for those new generation entrepreneurs.
I love that.
Yeah. Well, I've got 6 kids and 4 businesses at the moment. Hoping to planning on building that, but one life. And you're right. What I've found in recent years, because I don't think I'm old, I still think I'm 21 inside, not 57.
That's great. I like that.
Yeah, but what reminds me that I'm 57 and not 21 is not only when I look in the mirror in the morning, it's also when I meet other business owners that are millennial. So they're in that 30-something bracket.
You work with them? You work with them? With the millennials? Yeah. Yeah.
I'm part of a mastermind group. I've been there for 8 years, and there's, gradually in that mastermind group, we've had younger and younger people joining, primarily because I'm getting older.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of millennials out there that are not hampered by the restrictions that older generations have got. But what I have found is millennial business owners are really hungry for knowledge and information.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I've without planning, I've slipped into giving not official, but giving advice, tips, steers, basically coaching with millennials, because they're asking really good questions and they haven't yet got the experience of business. So I've slotted into being an older mentor. Which I have to say I really enjoy.
Yeah,
but yes.
So when we look to this visionary, where do you think you're going to at this moment? When you look to the future, or you only live in the now? How do you think when we talk about future, you see all those eyes, the big eyes?
I'm in year 1 of my next 10-year plan. So, which will take me obviously to 67, which in the UK is the official state age for retirement. So I'll be an old age pensioner.
But you won't retire. I'm not sure of that.
You're absolutely right, Ofke. You know me well.
Yeah.
So in my 10-year plan, I have a vision board as well. I give a lot of thought about what I want to achieve.
Okay.
and achieve with others, including the people closest to me.
Mm.
And my vision board for this next 10 years is different to the one that I've had in the last 10 years.
Oh, yeah. Can
So,
you tell us something about your vision board?
yeah.
Yeah.
So my vision board, there is a number on it. I want to build assets of over £10 million. It was 5 million in the first 10 years.
Yeah.
I exceeded that a year early. Now it's 10 million. And it isn't 10 million to spend on myself, because the other pictures in the vision board are very different. I've got a picture of an orphanage in Albania, which I'm a benefactor of, or me and my other half. There's a cancer charity. There's an image of helping stressed male business owners avoid burnout. There's definitely a boat. I've got a boat already, but I'd like more than one, not because I'm greedy, but I actually want to charter them out in my travel business.
Yeah.
I've got a very modest boat,
Okay.
but it's fine. But there's also, the focus of my 10-year vision now is about giving something back and enriching the lives of other people.
I love that, what you tell. I hear your cancer charity. Yeah.
Yeah, they give free complimentary cancer therapy to people who've just been diagnosed with cancer. So their world has been shaken to the ground usually. And so this charity, alongside obviously the medical help that the patient gets, is complementary therapy, and like acupuncture or yoga or hand massage. I mean, what a wonderful thing that we've got 50 therapists. What a wonderful thing that they do to help the lives of other people who had just had their life shaken with the news from the doctor.
Yeah.
That there's the potential that they're going to die. So when I've learnt with money, because I said earlier that my relationship with money was lousy. My relationship with money has changed, and it is a tool. I mentioned a moment ago, money is a tool, and you can use it for good things or bad things.
Yeah, that's why we make this money archetype books. 32 money archetype cards, and we want to go on with you with these cards, because we love to see you can go with these cards to a deeper layer. And it's not about this greedy money. It's all about what it do for you. It gives you happiness or joy, or what's really the thing you need.
I love using money in business to help act as what I call seed capital.
Yeah.
To help a new business get off the ground.
Yeah.
And of course, I don't do it to make money, because I've got money.
Yeah.
That's not my primary. If I lost the money, I lost the money. But my primary motive is, one, to have fun, and B, help someone else.
That's your mission?
Yes. Yeah. Because I've sometimes been asked in the past, what would happen if you lost it all tomorrow, Rob?
Yeah.
Which is a really good question. Because a lot of rich people, when they become very wealthy and super rich, which I'm not, by the way, but when they become super rich, the fear in their life comes in that they're going to lose it all. Yeah. And I can quite honestly say on camera that if I lost it all tomorrow, I'd start again.
Yeah, I know. You did.
I did.
Yeah. You did.
Yeah, you did.
And I can do it again. And this time it'd be different, because we have a place on the Med and a boat and motorcycles. It's not starting from scratch.
But then you have to sell when you have nothing anymore. But
exactly. But I could easily live on a beach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't need anything. I
don't know about Christina.
Yeah, when Christina's there, everything is okay. But we mentioned it all with the COVID now.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Look, if you use money in the right way and you have the right relationship with money, it's a powerful tool. Mm-hmm. Not only for you and your family and your loved ones, but other people.
I love your insight about this right relationship with money.
Yes.
What is necessary? What do you think? What's a good advice when we talk about to have a right relationship with money?
Really good question. I can tell you're good at this, Sofia.
Thank you.
What I mean in my world and my learnings it's not putting money at the center of it. That you have to find your reason why that's other than building wealth and success.
Always the why. It's all about
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's putting those main pillars, building your life on granite, on a rock, rather than shifting sands. So if you do the right things, money in business, money will flow.
Then you have it about a foundation you're talking about, the first
a
solid
rock.
foundation. Yeah, rock. Yeah.
So there's really only one thing. There's very few things in life that really matter. Deep down, it's about relationships with other human beings.
Yeah.
And
connections.
Family. Your family will always be your family. You can't change that.
Can't change it. No.
And your close friends. And I'm in the privileged position now that I only work with clients I want to work with, and work generally with people I want to work with. But that's taken me a lot of years to get to that place. And it's a wonderful state to be in, because now I'm as busy as I ever was doing all these different things, but it doesn't feel like work anymore, because it's a pleasure. It's enjoyable. Like
then
this.
You can serve. Yeah, I like it.
Can we also see that money is maybe in the middle of reciprocity? Like when you see this kind of, I don't know how you call this in English, it's eight figure, and then that money is in the middle, and that you give something and it returns. So
what we would use in UK and in English, we would use that symbol as the mathematical symbol for infinity, never ending.
Yeah.
So that ties in nicely, doesn't it?
Yeah, it ties in nicely. Yes, it is. It does.
So money can't be at the center of what you do. And you could be Gandhi or Mother Teresa, and you can still give out of your poverty, or you could be Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, or Jeff Bezos, and give out of your wealth. In a sense, it doesn't really matter. What does matter is the fact that you're giving out, whether you have very little or whether you have a huge amount.
Yes. I like very much this interview, Rob, because you're such a teacher. Everybody, I've already 3 pages just writing what you're telling and say yes. So I hope it's also for the watchers of Awake TV very interesting. I'm sure of it.
Thank you.
And it's nice to see the world of the money.
I would say I name drop with Warren Buffett and Bill Gates, and I don't know either of them. But just clarify, but they only started giving and being philanthropic out of their wealth. They were not philanthropic before.
No.
And they were building it.
Yeah.
So I think our relationship with money is fundamental, because money affects relationships with people. It can be a source of divorce, and a breakdown of a relationship is arguing over money. Or people committing crimes because they feel they haven't got enough money and they're jealous of someone that has, so they want to take.
Interesting insight, because we did a lot of interviews already about money, and when we make this game also, there are a lot of blocks by people, but it has also need a fundament, and this fundamentals we need for how is your view, how is your opinion about money. I think it's very
I mean, I was asked a couple of days ago about what it was about starting up a new business, and what if you haven't got any experience or knowledge of that industry, but you have passion? What would my advice be? And I said, don't do it. and the reason I say that is passion without a business model that makes money isn't a business.
No.
Because passion could be a hobby. It could be something you do in your spare time.
Yeah.
You maybe give of yourself to something you're passionate about. That doesn't make it a business. What makes it a business is if people want to buy what you've got, it creates cash and it sustains itself. The business sustains itself. That's a business. So if anyone's listening to this and really does have a passion, but they want to go into something they've never done before, my advice would be, align yourself with someone else or an organization that's already in that space.
Yeah.
And work with them. maybe for free.
Cooperate. Yeah, cooperate.
Yeah, cooperate, collaborate.
Yes.
And get an apprenticeship. So when I went into the mergers and acquisitions world in 2002, I'd never done mergers and acquisitions. So I spent 7 years as an apprentice learning the industry as an employee. And then I went out on my own in 2008, 2009. So I would definitely counsel people to think very carefully about jumping into something that they have no experience in.
No.
Yes.
You have to learn. Yeah. Yeah. So this cooperation, I think this is a good, and to collaborate together. It's interesting because this is also with these archetypes. They don't stand alone. It's your inner dream team. So how would it be for you, Rob, to meet a few of your archetypes or just one? Would you love to do that? To go
I'd love to do that.
Journey and deeper level? And maybe Annelies, you want to help us with that? We talked about a few archetypes already: the enlighter, the lucky, who cracks the code, but that's not your problem for me. You not need the daredevil because you're not afraid. But what about this nourisher? Would you love to speak about this? Because maybe, or the visionary, what do you want?
Definitely the nourisher, because I'm always giving out. And Christina will tell you it's 24/7, particularly because I own businesses in different countries. So you've got time zone issues.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I can feel this is my 6th webinar this week.
Okay. So you're fresh. You're looking fresh still.
Or it could also be the fire master then, maybe a combination.
Oh yeah. Is that great?
Because here you see when the attention goes to too many things, the fire snuffs out.
Ah, yeah, because I can sleep on a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
Because I'm exhausted.
Yes.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
But it's wonderful to hear. And yeah, it's a Friday afternoon, but we will send it out on Wednesday.
I might like fresh, but that'll be the lighting.
Yeah.
And the fact I'm in your company.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's the same for us. So let's do it, Annelies.
Okay.
Do you want to do the fire master and nourisher?
We see what comes up.
Yes.
Okay.
Sure.
So, are you ready, Rob?
I'm ready. I'll take my glasses off so I can't see you.
Wow. So you can see everybody. So the watchers are also listening.
And for all watchers, we go to meet the nourisher and fire master today. So just close your eyes and just inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Slowly go with your attention from your head towards your nose. From your nose towards your mouth. From your mouth towards your throat. From your throat towards a place around your heart where it's very peaceful, quiet. It's a place that only belongs to you. And from here you go to enter your own inner kingdom. Like a theater play, the curtains open and you step into your own inner kingdom. If you just could tell me, Rob, what you see and where you are.
Yeah, I'm on the water. I'm in a boat and there's no one around. I look around the horizon and there's nothing apart from some land in the distance.
Okay. This land comes closer. Or how do you feel on the boat?
It feels good. It feels safe. I'm heading towards a little deserted beach on that land. There is a figure on the beach.
Okay. Is it he or she?
It's a guy.
Okay. Is he young or old?
Older. It's not a face I recognise. They're
No.
taller,
Mm-hmm.
and they're in a top hat, and they're just welcoming me onto the beach.
Yeah.
So I feel safe.
You feel safe, yes.
Hmm.
And what's his function?
I get a sense that it's a guide, that he's a guide and a mentor to me. Someone I can learn from.
And what does he teach you?
How to be still. And how not to get too excited and active. To relax and be in the moment.
And does he have a special tool for that?
No, but he's holding the rope that secures the boat to where he is on the beach.
So meaning that you do not have to be afraid that it will be drifting away, the boat?
Yeah, because he wants to encourage me out of the boat onto the beach.
Yes.
So he's holding the boat steady.
Okay, yes.
I get a sense that it's through talking, one-to-one is the tool. In a place where there's no one else around.
Mm-hmm.
It's quiet, it's warm, there's sunshine. And there's the sound of the waves as they come up on the beach.
Mm-hmm. What also has a calming effect.
Very.
Mm-hmm. So it's the perfect environment to talk to this guy.
Yes, no distractions. I don't know why he's wearing a hat though.
No, you can ask him.
He's laughed and taken it off. Maybe it was to get my attention. Because I meet a lot of people who in life who want things and want to sell me something or have some of my time. So literally it will be thousands over the course of the year, either in person or on social media.
So this hat is just to catch your attention.
Yeah, that's the sense that I've got. And
you can recognize him and you know, hey, this is the guy I just need. You know, you can recognize him easily.
That's it. Yeah. I could recognize him in a crowd with a top hat.
Yes.
If there were a crowd, but there isn't.
Yeah. No, there's not there,
But maybe I wouldn't have noticed him in the distance. Maybe I might have gone past that beach. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does he has a message for you? Another message?
There's a couple of questions. One is, what do you really want to do? And he says it in a caring, supportive way rather than an accusatory way. And the other question is, what do you do for yourself? Which is an intriguing question. Those are the two questions.
These are interesting questions. You can take them with you.
Particularly the second one.
Yeah.
It's easier to give than to receive quite often for many of us.
Yeah. You can say thank you to this man.
Thank you.
And so you will ponder on these questions. You will take them with you, and you will come back to him with the answer.
I will. Thank you, and I will come back to you with an answer to both of those.
Probably you can step into the boat or stay where you are and slowly come back.
I'm just going to sit on a rock and look out to sea.
The harbor master somewhere?
Not that I can see. I just like the stillness and looking out into an infinity horizon.
Yeah.
Again, with the waves in the background, they're just that noise in the background.
Yeah.
It's a place of stillness.
Yeah, the world of all possibilities in stillness. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good place to reflect.
Yeah.
And no disturbance, no broadband, no telephone, just nature.
Wonderful. Okay, that was it for now, Rob.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you.
How do you feel after a week of hard work and this traveling?
This is the most restful of the 6 webinars this week.
Welcome.
And probably will be the most life-changing for me. So thank you. Thank you to both of you.
We can do every week if you like.
Yeah.
It's a quickie. But it's really nice to see how this imagination can help you to bring you back to your deeper self and bring you to that rock. And be sure of that you can go any moment to that rock if you like to.
Yeah, and until I met you, Ofkia, I'd never come across the archetype thing. So
no, I really hear that, and
I'm a novice.
Yeah, a novice.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know, and that's my mission also with Annelies, I think, just to share more about this archetype, because we have them all with us every day. So you will never be alone. I think you will never be depressive, maybe I say, because you know who you are and what you need. So it's so good to take time to meet these archetypes and to choose them, because you have 74.
Yes.
We also took a few, the nourisher from the other box I made. The other box I made with Annelies. And well, we took the last one, the harbor master. He's looking to the sea, you see? And
oh, right.
Where is my ship? Maybe my ship of gold, or he's just a little man. Everybody's small and the big sea. But it's not all about that money. It's about your belonging, what you want to reach in your life, what is your mission. So this is funny, but I love that you prefer this rock with its stillness, because in this world it's so confusing with all those telephone rings and everything.
Yeah. All distraction, yes.
Yeah, and that sadly I'm not unique. That is the society we're in these days, isn't it? In the 21st century, in most countries around the world, we have so much information foisted upon us through technology.
Yeah,
it's easy to get wrapped up.
Yes,
too wrapped up,
and burn out and get depressive. So it's good that your rock will be your friend in the future. And go back to that.
Oh, the rock came up, didn't it, again?
Yeah.
You're right. Ah,
Yeah.
you've done this before.
Maybe. I like the rock too. Everywhere where I am, the sea, I love the sea because it brings all your problems. The sea will take it all away. The wind and the sea will take it all away.
The sea is powerful.
Very powerful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good.
And you can stay looking to it. It's not, yeah.
Yeah, it's ever changing, isn't it? Even the sky as well.
I can send you a picture of, I had made, a friend of mine, how do you call it? Is een schilderij? What is it in?
Painting.
Painting with 100 little sea signs. And they're all different. And it's 3.5 meters, all those little sea signs. And I'm living at the sea in the Netherlands. So yeah, it's beautiful. You can stay looking at it. Every day is different. Every light on it is different. The sunset, sunrise, everything. Yeah.
Well, you guys, when we can all fly again without restrictions, you guys come over to Albania, come and stay with us, and I'll take you out on the boat, and we'll find that rock on a beach and have a barbecue.
We will.
We will, and it's really very silent there. But I would love to.
And we will find a new place for your new company. You know, that will be the place where you will host your retreats.
Oh yeah, we will test this out. No problem.
You'll be very welcome.
Yeah. Just joking, but you never know, Rob. But for now, it's really good to hear you this time in this interview, to see the money stories from your side. It has a light side, like the archetypes, and a shadow side.
Yeah.
And you meet it all. And I'm very happy for you that you are on the light side again.
Thank you.
Thank
Me
you.
too.
Yeah, we all do. And I'm very honored that you will share this this book of yours for people who wants to have a yeah
Happily.
Great. So for now, time is over for Week TV, so we have to finish this interview, but maybe we'll meet again on the moment. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Yes. Ciao.
Bye.
Take care.
Until next time.
Bye, everyone.
Take care.
Bye
bye.
So this was a wonderful interview with Rob Goddard. What do you think, Annelies? How did you enjoy it?
Yes, I enjoyed it very much. It's really about resilience, and you know, when you're deep down, how you can find your way back.
Yeah.
With maybe even more purpose in life.
Yes, he was a wealthy banker till 2010, and then he got fired, and he got very depressed, and he was suicidal. And afterwards, he went back, and his resilience was really good. So we loved the interview. We did a wonderful meditation with his nourisher, how to nourish yourself, not only work, but to nourish your personal needs. And also this Fire Master archetype card from the money archetypes. Yes, from this game box, we have made a game together of 32 archetypes, and one of them is the Fire Master. It's about a passion in people, and it's very interesting and good to nourish yourself, so the passion will be there. And so this is also about this nourisher and the Fire Master. We did this imagination. We go deep to our inner treasure room and to find out, to get some new messages, new answers about life questions. And it was wonderful to have Rob Goddard here, because this was about the real money, and money is important, but it's just a tool. So thank you for listening again. We see each other next week. So have a good week. Bye-bye. Thank you, Annelies.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.